Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. It's Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. And we begin with an update on the teenage pilot attempting to be the youngest woman to fly solo around the world. Zara Rutherford just landed in Seoul, South Korea this week, the first stop in Asia during her quest. She'll stay there for a week before taking off for Taiwan on Monday. The 19-year-old British Belgian started her journey in August from Western Belgium, and her goal was to complete the nearly 32,000-mile trip by Christmas. But it's now clear she won't achieve that. Bad weather and visa issues grounded her in both Alaska and Russia for a month. She now hopes to return to her home country and set the world record in mid-January. Zara, who is the daughter of two pilots, plans to start university next year with the dream of becoming an astronaut. A new statewide mandate to wear masks indoors goes into effect today in California, as more than 4,000 new COVID cases are being reported every day. This rule will be in effect for at least a month. Meanwhile, in New York, with more than 10,000 new cases a day, a similar indoor mask requirement started on Monday. Knowing these new mandates would not be welcome news for many, California's Health and Human Services Secretary Mark Ghaly acknowledged that people are tired and hungry for normalcy. Frankly, he said, I am too. But officials in both states said the measure is meant to slow down the spread of the coronavirus, especially Omicron, as Americans gear up for a busy holiday travel season. Travel may be a challenge, at least in parts of the west coast of the U.S. A big storm is dumping inches of rain on coastal California and up to 8 feet of snow in its mountains. This type of weather isn't unusual for this time of year. It's only notable because it's the first big snow that could impact driving and flying. Compounding the problem, another shortage. This one among snowplow drivers, and not just in California. According to USA Today, states from Washington to Pennsylvania are having trouble finding enough people willing to take jobs that require a commercial driver's license and often entail working at odd hours in dangerous conditions. Montana alone is short 90 snowplow drivers and is warning motorists to plan ahead because it will take crews longer to clear highways after a storm than it has in past winters. The 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing are still 2 months away, but there are already a lot of plans in place for the next Summer Olympics in 2024. Those games will be in Paris, France, and organizers have announced the opening ceremony will be unlike any other. Instead of taking place in a stadium, it will be held on the Seine River, which runs through the heart of the historic city. The Parade of Nations will be a 162-boat flotilla, and instead of needing a high-priced ticket, up to 600,000 spectators will be able to watch for free from the riverbanks. And that's not all. Some swimming competition will happen in the Seine, as long as an ambitious plan to clean up the water is finished on time. Also, beach volleyball will be at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. The equestrian competition will be at the Palace of Versailles. Another record for the Boy Wizard. A rare first edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, as the series' first book is called in the UK, sold at an auction house in Dallas, Texas, for the stunning amount of $471,000. That makes the 1997 hardback the most expensive 20th century work of fiction ever sold. As first reported in the Daily Mail, the reason the book was so valuable was it's in mint condition and was part of the first run of 500 printed that contains several typing errors, including the phrase "one wand" being printed twice on a list of items Harry needs for Hogwarts on page 53. There's no word on the identity of the buyer, but the seller was an American woman who bought the book from a dealer in 1998. That's it for KidNuz. Now our quiz, sponsored today by the family of Margaret Donahoe in Washington, D.C., wishing her a very happy 10th birthday. When is the teenage pilot hoping to end her round-the-world journey? In mid-January. Where will the opening ceremony for the 2024 Summer Olympics be held? On the Seine River in Paris, France. A mandate to wear masks indoors is again being issued in what 2 states? New York and California. What was the name of the book that just set a new record at auction? Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. In today's Kid News Kicker, the Harry Potter first edition isn't the only piece of writing to be sold for a record amount recently. Last month, a rare manuscript co-authored by physicist Albert Einstein just became the most expensive autographed scientific paper ever sold. The final price came to $15 million. The 54-page handwritten document contained calculations that became the basis for Einstein's theory of relativity. It revolutionized our understanding of light, speed, matter, and energy with a deceptively simple equation, E equals mc squared. Before we go, we want to give a Kid News shout-out to some of our terrific teachers and their students. In Illinois, Mrs. Diaz at Dorr Elementary in Chicago and Mrs. B at Ramona Elementary in Wilmette. Mrs. Martinez at Reuben Hinojosa, Go Tigers, in Mercedes, Texas. Mrs. Bortz and all her amazing students at Christ the Cornerstone Academy in San Diego, California. And Mrs. Clifford at Ossining High School in Ossining, New York. Thanks for listening, everyone. Don't forget to check out our store for some cool Kid News swag like t-shirts, water bottles, and backpacks. It's on our website at www.kidnews.org. We hope you tune in for more Kid News tomorrow morning.